Hi everyone, this is Sarfraz from Aristotle Prep, and we are looking at question 113 from the OG 13 Critical Reasoning chapter. The stimulus says the average hourly wage of television assemblers in Vernland has long been significantly lower than that in neighboring Barodia. So the hourly wage of assemblers in Vernland is lower than that in Barodia. Since Barodia dropped all tariffs on Vernlandian televisions 3 years ago, the number of televisions sold annually in Barodia has not changed. So all it says is in the last 3 years, the number of televisions sold in Barodia is constant. However, recent statistics show a drop in the number of television assemblers in Barodia. So number of televisions sold in Barodia has not changed, whereas number of television assemblers has gone down. Therefore, updated trade statistics will probably indicate that the number of televisions Barodia imports annually from Vernland has increased. Then the conclusion comes about that since the number of televisions being sold in Barodia is the same, whereas number of television assemblers have gone down, so where are the new televisions coming from? They must be imported from the neighboring Vernland. That is the conclusion. So what is the assumption? That's what's being asked. Think about it again. All you're saying is that the number of television assemblers in Barodia has gone down, which means from this they are concluding that the number of televisions assembled in Barodia must have also gone down, which are then being imported from Vernland. But will that actually happen? What if the efficiency of the assemblers in Barodia has increased? So earlier, while each assembler was assembling 10 televisions a day, now each assembler is assembling 15 or 20 televisions a day. Then even if the number of assemblers goes down in Barodia, the number of televisions manufactured might not change, might remain the same, or might even increase, in which case Barodia may not have to import anything from Vernland. So, what is the assumption in the argument? The assumption is that the efficiency or ability of the assemblers in Barodia has not increased. That should be the assumption in the argument. So let's go through the options. A says the number of television assemblers in Vernland has increased by at least as much as the number of television assemblers in Barodia has decreased. Again, it's not necessary because you're assuming in this case again that the efficiency of every assembler in Barodia and Vernland is the same. But what if it is not the same? So A is not the assumption in the argument. B says televisions assembled in Vernland have features that televisions assembled in Barodia do not have. The features of television are of no consequence to our argument. C says the average number of hours it takes a Barodian television assembler to assemble a television has not decreased significantly during the past 3 years. Understand this option. It says the efficiency of every Barodian television assembler has not increased. You see, if the number of hours it takes them to assemble a television goes down, that's a good thing. It means the efficiency of that person has increased. He's taking less time to assemble the television now than he used to in the past. And if this actually were to be the case, then Barodia may not have to import anything from Vernland. So if you negate C, the option should fall apart, which is why C should be the assumption in the argument that the efficiency of Barodian television assemblers has not changed over the past 3 years. Then Barodia must be importing the televisions from Vernland. So C should be the answer to the question. D says the number of televisions assembled annually in Vernland has increased significantly during the past 3 years. Doesn't have to be the assumption in the argument at all. E says the difference between the hourly wage of assemblers in Vernland and the hourly wage of assemblers in Barodia is likely to decrease in the next few years. We have no idea. So C should be the answer to the question. Again, as you saw, I had an answer in mind as much as possible, especially if you are looking at an assumption question or any question from the assumption family, which includes assumption, evaluate, strengthen, weaken, and flaw questions. It always is a good idea to have an answer in mind as to what the assumption will be. You may not always be able to do so, even I can't do so all the time, as you must have seen on some questions, but as much as possible, one should try to predict an assumption before looking at the options. On a difficulty scale of 1 to 5, I would give this question a 4 or a 4.5. Have a nice day.